Well, good Friday morning to you. I hope that you've had a great week. I know at least this week in the state of Missouri, we're getting a chance to lay some hay down. We've been talking with producers. They're getting ready to go out in the field and put their posts down. And this morning, I'm with Larry Helm of Southern FS, located in Dexter, Missouri. When we think about Southern FS and we think about Dexter, Missouri, and we think about the boot heel, this has been a learning experience for me. So Larry, tell me a little about yourself.
Well, I was basically born and raised in Stoddard County, southern southeast Missouri. I've been in the ag business now. This is my 30th season, so pretty much from application all the way through to managing locations. I've had my hand in a little bit of everything, so it's second nature to me.
That's one thing I love about agriculture. It is a relationship business. And we've had a chance to spend a few hours with you today. Scott Bingman brought me down and introduced me. And we've been driving miles. We've been looking at fields. We've been walking fields. And you know everyone, and you know everyone's kids, and you can tell me what program they have going on. And I just think that's so unique to agriculture, especially with what you're bringing, because you bring a lifetime of knowledge to our producers, things that we just can't teach them any other way. So tell me a little bit about agriculture here, because so far you've shown me corn, you've shown me rice, you've shown me soybeans, you showed me a field of peanuts. What am I? Oh, and you showed me a field of cotton. Did I miss anything?
We may have some potatoes somewhere close by. We may have a few peas and some watermelons south of us.
Oh,
so
wow.
We've got a couple of orchards too. So it's pretty diverse around here.
So when we think about what that looks like and what you guys have to offer, what does Southern FS offer all of their clients in those different fields? Because most of the rest of the people that are watching, we have corn, soybeans, and wheat. We might have a little bit else, but you guys are really diverse. So what distinguishes you in what you can offer your clients?
Well, I think that we have enough connections with other growers and producers all around across the state and the surrounding area that we can take in combinations of things that they're doing and implement them here. So most crops all require the basic needs. Yep. So we still got to have this kind of weather. We still need, Mother Nature to drive this thing. So really most crops are uniquely the same in a sense. They just take different combinations of stuff. So when I'm out here looking at a field, whether it's rice or it's soybeans, we're looking at, weed pressure to whether it's water to fertility.
Yep.
So.
And you brought up a key word there, and it's what I really want us to jump on, because we spent this morning looking at a field that we'd applied an early season plant growth regulator. We like to call them PGRs. Mm-hmm. And so when we think about applying an early season PGR, what are some benefits that you've seen to an early season PGR, and what do you guys have to offer?
Well, like this morning, we were looking at a soybean field that we had just recently applied some products to, and the PGR was one of them. We have a product of our own called Formation Blast. Mm-hmm. What we saw out there was a stronger looking root mass. We saw more pods on those soybeans, and this was a nice 20-acre split. We had a 40-acre field. Right down to the line, you can go out in there and just take a random pick, and you can see that root mass. You can see that podding, and the stem had a lot heavier. It just seemed like this plant had more to offer because of what we put down there, Foliar.
And so when we think about that early season PGR and it's that Formation Blast, I love the chemistry that's behind this, mm-hmm. because it's not only a nutritional. So it's a 10-5-5 and it has 5 micros. Everything supports photosynthesis, but it's also 0.5% GABA. And that GABA, as we're looking at, as gamma aminobutyric acid. It is a known PGR that helps us grow a bigger plant. But it's not enough that we just put a GABA on there. It's not enough that it's a PGR. We also want to be applying everything with that can support it. And like you said, when we were looking through, we saw great pod set. We saw larger stems. We saw a greater root mass that was going to be found on there. But we also saw a lot of flowers still on there. And so we're standing in this field and we're staging soybeans, and they're at R4, but they're still covered with flowers. And so now we think about moving from that early season PGR to how are we going to maintain this plant? And as we think about maintaining plant, that moves us to a late season PGR. And you guys also have a full spectrum, not only early season, but late season. What do you guys have to offer your clients late season?
Well, we have a potassium acetate, which is K-Blast.
Mm-hmm.
These plants require, there's a lot more nutrients requirements at those stages, so we're gonna feed that plant. And all right, so we used the K-Blast, then we also used boron, an 8.5% boron, which is our B-Blast, and then we come in with our Impact Boost, followed by our Impact Energy.
And I love that you're talking about some of these specific products, because when we think about your K-Blast, it's backed by science with a potassium acetate. So not all potassiums are made equal. In fact, research down in Texas back in the 1980s showed that potassium acetate is 4.5 times more available to the plant than any other form of potassium. And specifically when we're looking at soybeans, but corn as well, soybeans are potassium hogs, right? They love to utilize that potassium. And so while we can still feed the plant from the bottom and the soil and bring it up, we want to make sure it's available to that plant right away. And then you tied in the boron, and there are so many amazing features of boron that we don't even quite fully understand all of it, but we know that it helps with plant growth. We know it helps moving things within phloem. And then you started to talk these late season PGRs, and these late season PGRs give us a source of energy. But also along with that source of energy, we also are going to have a stress mitigation late season. And so when we come in with this late season PGR, it's going to be a GABA again. It's going to be at a greater level. That's going to help mitigate that stress. And then we also are going to be supporting this plant growth. So our goal with this is to maintain all these top flower sets, maintain the pod set as we move up the plant, and also maintain the factory that you guys have already put the time and the energy in to make sure that we can grow this and maintain the yield for the producer. So Larry, I really appreciate your time. I'm really impressed with what you guys are doing, and I'm sure we'll be back down.
All right.